My name is Lee Green, and today I have with me singer, songwriter, recording artist Andy Fewell. And we're going to talk about Andy's projects that he's got going on, some things about his life and how he got started in music. Just want to introduce you to Andy. Welcome.
Thank you.
Andy, tell me a little bit, how'd you get started in music? At what age did you start playing?
I believe it was right around 14 or 15 years old. Me and a friend of mine was at the lake, Sardis Lake, one afternoon, and we got to noticing a truck with a bunch of ladies around the truck. And we was trying to figure out what was going on, and we got close enough and the crowd maybe spread out a little bit, and there's this dude with a guitar, and it's like, I want to learn how to play guitar. So me and David Burns, we sat and practiced. My dad had a guitar, old catgut guitar, and his dad bought him a cheap Western Auto guitar, and we went and bought Why Me Lord, because it only had 3 chords in it. And we sat and practiced Why Me Lord over and over until we finally got the chords to sound like chords. And somebody told us, after you get through practicing guitar, you need to dip your fingers in alcohol. No. But that's when I started. It was when I was about 14 or 15 years old, watching the cat get all the attention of the girls, and I said, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to learn how to play guitar.
So your attraction to cooties was first led you to learning to play guitar. Oh, I understand. Yeah.
Yes.
I understand that completely. And Why Me Lord, I guess, then was your first song you learned.
It was my very first song I learned,
yeah.
And we learned it till we got it down pat, and then I can't even tell you the second song we learned, because we went over Why Me Lord so many times I could play it in my sleep. But that led to other things of it. When you start playing the guitar at that young age, your creativity is at a peak. And I wrote my first song when I was like 16. A fictional song. Most all my songs are fictional, but I think that's the right word. But I wrote it about a girl who gave her love away, who loved to give her love away. And that was my first song I played. It almost had a rhythm of like the horse with no name,
right?
Type rhythm. So yeah, that, and then.
So you were kind of in your early. You've always been kind of you were kind of early rock and roll. Is that
well
where you were headed?
I listened to rock, but I got way too much cornbread in my mouth for rock and roll to come out rock. It always come out country, and even in the bands we played, it had to be country. You know, this is a country rock song. Which my wife will argue to death that there's no such thing as country rock. It's either rock and roll or it's either country. But I always say yes. There's country rock.
She's never listened to Leonard Skinner then.
She is a heavy rocker.
Yeah.
Def Leppard and all them guys.
So you also early on decided you wanted to write music. And,
yes.
So you've been writing ever since then?
I've been on and off. I've been writing. A lot of the guitar playing, like I said, was for the attention of the girls. So I learned all of the cover songs back in the 70s and what have you. And I'm a big 60s nut. I loved everything in the 60s. I don't know if your questions are going to allude to this later on, but some of my influences were the Beatles.
Right.
And I loved their harmony. You know, and that's really what caught me. It was the harmony. And then I started listening to their words, which most people say it doesn't make any sense. But when you're a songwriter, you listen to the way they craft them.
Right.
You know, what method are they using? Like Chris Stapleton, when I first heard Chris Stapleton, I went nuts over him. I said, what kind of magic is he using to craft his words the way he does it? I just love to get in. And being a songwriter, a lot of times takes me away from listening to the goodness of the song, because I'm getting already into the diagram. How's he doing this?
How the song was built and put together.
Yeah.
Yes. I understand that. I always love the songs that kind of told a story, and that sounds like what you're trying to tell a story with.
And that's kind of how I got where my songwriting got into. I mentioned earlier it was not, it was fictional. Nobody got hurt in the scenes. You know, these names are just fictional characters made up. They're not really, you know, the people. But I got into the storyline of it. You know, I'll start off here, and hopefully by the end of the song, I would have portrayed that character and that emotion that he's going through by the time I get to the end of the song.
Yeah, I read an article a while back on Jim Croce, and so many of his songs were written about actual people. They, you know, that they were real people.
Yep.
He might have changed their names, but the songs, the stories that he sang were true.
Yep.
And I always thought that was interesting. And he was incredible talent. Died too young, but
very incredible. He influenced me quite a bit too.
Right.
My co-writer, I mentioned a lot of David Burns. We grew up together. He's passed away now, but the storylines and stuff, that's what he would tell me when I'd call him up, and he'd say, hey, what you doing? I said, man, I'm listening to Jim Croce, because I'm listening to the story, you know. I said, and he'd go, no, don't do it, that's depression music. But I just loved it, you know, Operator, Big Bad Jim, and all of them, you know, just.
Yeah, I forgot who it was. That it was either Leroy Brown or one of them was somebody that he knew.
Yes, he did. He actually knew him, and I think that event actually happened. They did get into a knife fight, and I don't know if they got cut up like he portrayed in the story, but you know.
So your love for songwriting, I guess, has led to a couple of different things I want to talk about, and you can kind of blend this however you want to. One is understanding you're involved in a songwriters night. What do y'all meet once a month?
Well, I'm involved in several songwriters nights. The one in Byhalia, Mississippi is every third Monday, and it's in a circle. A bunch of guys get together, and you can play your original music or you can play covers, and I really like those type of open mic or whatever you want to call it. Then there's the Memphis Songwriters Association. They have Songwriters Night at South Main Sounds in Memphis, and it's original music. You play original music in there. Rock House Live on Bartlett every Tuesday night. They have an open mic night, but it gives me an opportunity to let people hear my songs that I wrote. And then I know I'm going to miss somebody. I held one recently, and I had like, I think 9 or more people. I think I had the largest songwriters come out that evening to play it. When I put on one, I sent a bunch of, hey, I want to do this, and they'll say, no, I'm busy or whatever, but at least I got it. Everybody wasn't busy, so oh yeah, come on. So that was pretty exciting. But yeah, I try to go to as much as I can now. A lot of times when I get home from work, I'm just wore out and I don't make the songwriters night, and because it's an hour away from work. Now I do try to make the Byhalia one, which was last Monday night, and I thought it was this Monday night. I thought this Monday night coming up was the 3rd, and it's actually the 4th.
Well, where the other part of that question was going to be, I understand you've done some recording in Nashville. And
yes. Very interesting story. 2015, a good friend of mine, Billy Ray Scott, Billy Ray Scott, he said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, actually nothing." He said, "Come on up here. We're having an open mic songwriters night." Actually, it was a songwriters night because they couldn't play covers.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, okay, I'll come up there and listen." I had my vocals out. I just got through with the Mississippi Crud, you know, that stuff, and I was squawking like a frog.
I've had it.
Squawking like a frog. So I did that and played a couple of them. They did it like once a month, and got in good with the producer, Mark Goodman. He's very well known in the Memphis area, really all over. He's done a lot of stuff, played with a lot of major people. He got 2 Grammys with the Blackwoods Brothers that he produced them. And so let's just say some things happened. When you deal with people you don't know, you don't really trust them, and you lay money down on the table and things don't go according to plan. Something happened, and a musician friend of mine, Duke Henry, he's a very big outlaw country music singer in these parts around here. I think Sony has got him. He said, "Hey, won't you try my producer in Nashville, Kenny Lee Johnson," but he just goes by Kenny Lee. And I said, okay. So I called him on the phone, and Kenny, didn't really seem like he was interested. And he said, so send me what you got. So I'd already got the demo that I had recorded at Mark Goodman's studio. So I said, okay, here, let me send you these. And he got to listening to them, and he emailed me back or phone called me. I think it was all text and email. He said, we can't do but really 2 of them. We can do this one and this one. I'm not really happy with this and this. I said, okay, and he gave me a price, and I said, okay. Got up there, recorded it, went home, waited a month, because he was mixing both of them.
Right.
He calls me up the following month, and he said, Andy, you know what I told you, that we're only going to do 2 of them? And I said, yeah. He said, forget I ever said that. We're going to cut a CD.
Okay.
So that's where I got to go up there. He actually got to use some of the ones on the demo, and I had some other ones that I had written, and I sent him, and he said, yeah, we can do this. And we made a big CD, made it like 10 songs on this CD, and it's my first CD, and it's called Just Me. And right now it's still in the legation of copyrighting before I get them on CD.
Okay.
And then after I get the money together to get them all copywritten, then I'm going to put them on CD, and then I'll have them on CD. But the interesting story about that, Kenny Lee is a bass player, and he played bass for Vern Gosdin. Mm-hmm. And I hope everybody knows who Vern Gosdin is. They call him, he's the original The Voice, not what this you see on TV, but he was called The Voice. And you may be familiar with one of Vern's songs, If Jesus Came Tomorrow, What Then?
I believe I've heard that. I
was able to use the exact soundtrack from Vern Gosdin's camp on my CD.
Okay.
And so that song ends my CD. The biggest thing I said when I started in the music business, I've always told God, even when I was in my worst state of mind, mm-hmm. I always told God, if I record a CD, I want to end it with a faith-based gospel song.
Right.
And he was able to do that for me with that one. And it's got a lot of great songs on it. It's got like, I think 5 of mine, 2 of Kenny's. It's got a song written by Alan Jackson. Mm-hmm. Alan wrote the song and gave it to Kenny and Vern to record. Vern didn't want to record it because he didn't like the rhythm, and so it wasn't recorded. So I've looked all over the internet, and I'm actually recording an Alan Jackson written song that I don't think is out there, you know.
Right.
And then
that'd be nice, just have his name on it, written by.
Exactly. It's just, I think it's awesome, and I hope I did his camp wonderful with the way I portrayed my interpretation of the song, which I kept like he wrote it pretty much.
Right.
And the funny thing about that CD, my wife said, well, if you got any songs written for me on there, and I'm like, yeah, and I had to hurry up and write one. So I went and started writing, and I couldn't think of anything. Then I started remembering, you know, when we first dated, everything we did when we first dated, the places and everything. And I wrote her a song called You Didn't Just Kiss Me, because that was one of the biggest things. We always say, well, you know, I don't see why you chose me or whatever. It was like, it was your kiss. And so the song, You Didn't Just Kiss Me. So
it's a good thing you didn't sing Your Cheating Heart.
No, she made sure, she said, I don't want it to do with bar scenes. I don't want no drinking. I don't want no running around, cheating. And I said, I got you. Because most of my songs was written in the mid-late 80s to early 90s.
Right.
And that's when the music scene was real fun. I mean, it had your cheating songs, it had your drinking songs and what have you. One of the albums, the first song on there is called The Chase.
Right.
And it talks about waking up. None of this happened. Me and my friend David Burns wrote this song at a bar room. He was the night audit at a hotel, and so we sat down at the bar and we wrote he said, you're in a country band now, so you need a country song. So we started writing this song, and it's basically, it talks, the main character wakes up in the wrong bed with the wrong woman, and he thinks about his wife and children at home. And it's a fun song because of some of the catchphrases in there. It's called The Chase because of the chase that was put through to get her, you know.
Right.
Another fun song was Kenny's song, I Just Fell Off the Wagon. And it's a fun song to do. It just had that whole CD was just, it sparked a creativity in me to where I was able to write the bluegrass song that's on there, and called Please Don't Take, and that was written in the day's time, not in the late 80s, just like the song I wrote to my wife was written in today's time and not in the late 80s, but it has that feel to it. And it was just a fun album, fun project to do.
Well, writing music is fun. I did that years ago. I hadn't written anything in a long time, but hadn't played with any serious bands in a long time. But writing music is fun. It's the telling of the story and making it all come together and fit together into pieces. I love doing that. And then when you're through, of course, nothing I ever wrote probably was worth much to anybody, but I enjoyed writing them. And there's a couple of them wound up on some CD projects I did with some bands, but nothing, no big huge hits. I'm not getting any royalty checks from anybody. But
well, I'm not either. There's an old saying that you sell your soul to the business, and I never knew exactly what it they were talking about, but coming up with the funds for this CD and the things I had to sell to get there, I can see exactly where that's saying.
Right. Well, I'm glad you took time to come and let me ask you some questions, and maybe we'll get together some more later on, do some more. But want to see you here in just a minute. We're going to take just a little bit of a break, maybe come back and let you perform one of your songs. Will you do that?
I'll be happy to.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Could ever describe, and these feelings that I have, I just can't hide. That's why I need to know the truth is not a lie. So are you staying or playing around? Playing around. Will you love me good at night, then put me down? Oh, it's hard to know what I'm feeling won't bring me down. So are you staying or playing around? Different and quite new, and I never know just with it what to do. That's why I need to know your feelings are quite true. So are you staying or playing around? Sound. So are you staying or playing